A bloodied Markeith Loyd, surrounded by law enforcement, escorted into the Orlando Police Department. Monday, January 9th, when police say Loyd, wearing body armor, gunned down Master Sergeant Deborah Clayton.
On December 10, 2016, Shonda Dixon, a 24-year-old pregnant mother of two, moved back into her parents' Pine Hills, Florida home. She provided them with few details on why she decided to make the move, but she told her family that her then-boyfriend, Markeith Loyd, had bitten her during a fight. 3 days later, while eating dinner with her family, Dixon got a call from Loyd and went outside to talk to him. They started arguing, and shots were fired by Loyd. Dixon was killed, and her brother Ronald was wounded while trying to protect her. The next day, Dixon's parents held a press conference asking for help finding their daughter's killer. The Orange County Sheriff's Office named Loyd as a suspect and warned that he was armed and dangerous. As the investigation continued, more information came out about Loyd. He had been arrested before on a murder charge in 1995, but that charge was dropped because of a lying witness. In 1998, he was accused of battery on a law enforcement officer and spent 4 years in jail. On January 9th, about a month after the shooting, a shocking incident took place at a Walmart in Orlando, Florida. A civilian noticed a man that looked like Markeith Loyd inside the store and approached Orlando police officer Master Sergeant Deborah Clayton. Officer Clayton called for backup and approached Loyd, but Loyd started shooting when she told him to stop running. Even though additional officers arrived within just 28 seconds, Officer Clayton was already down, and Loyd had fled the scene. The officers at Walmart called for help and tried to revive Officer Clayton by performing CPR before rushing her to the hospital. Unfortunately, Officer Clayton was pronounced dead at Orlando Regional Medical Center, leaving behind a devastated family and community. She was not only a dedicated officer, but also a wife and a mother. A few hours later, Orange County Sheriff's Office Captain Joe Carter spotted a suspect inside of a vehicle who matched the description of Loyd. Carter followed the vehicle into an apartment complex, where Loyd fired 2 shots at Carter's car. But Carter was fortunately unharmed. Once again, Loyd fled the scene. A man then called 911 to report that Loyd had carjacked him at gunpoint and crashed his car through a fence. Loyd was identified as the suspect, and this prompted the lockdown of 17 Orange County schools. That same day, a motorcycle deputy by the name of Norman Lewis, responding to the search for Loyd, was struck and killed by a van on Pine Hills Road and Balboa Drive. Orange County Sheriff Jerry Demings called the day one of the worst in his career. He then announced that the crime line reward has been set to $100,000, the biggest reward crime line has ever received. Orlando police arrested several of Loyd's associates and relatives. Zarchi Mayan, Lekenshaw Smith Loyd, and Jameis Slaughter all helped Loyd while he was on the run. Charges against them were later dropped, and they were not prosecuted. Around 7 p.m. on January 17, 2017, authorities were able to finally locate Loyd in an abandoned home in the Carver Shores area. Loyd was using a cell phone to contact relatives who were supposed to deliver groceries to him. The police took advantage of this opportunity and blocked off all streets in the area. Police then surrounded the home, but Loyd tried to escape through the back door when the SWAT teams arrived. Loyd then ran back inside and left again through the front door, wearing body armor and carrying 2 handguns, including a Glock that contained a magazine with the capacity for 100 rounds of ammunition. Loyd surrendered. He threw both guns to the ground and laid down on the ground. He was subsequently arrested with resistance, though no shots were fired on either side. At one point, Loyd was placed in handcuffs belonging to the slain officer Deborah Clayton. He also lost an eye as he was kicked in the head by the arresting officers. Loyd was then interrogated at the Orlando Police Department headquarters.
Hey, can y'all straighten these cuffs out for me?
Just 1 second, okay, go. They coming out to do that.
They're real tight, bro.
No, they're
real tight. They numb my wrist up the cuffs.
He was then taken to the Orlando Regional Medical Center to receive treatment for injuries that he received during his arrest. The next day, on January 19, 2017, Loyd appeared in court and decided to represent himself.
Good morning, Mr. Loyd. You're here for first appearances. Pursuant to an arrest warrant for events occurring on December 13th of 2006, Count 1, first-degree murder with a firearm. Count 2, killing an unborn child by injury to a mother. Count 3, attempted first-degree murder with a firearm. Count 4, aggravated assault with a firearm. And finally, Count 5, aggravated assault with a firearm.
Loyd mentioned that he didn't resist arrest and complained that he was being portrayed unfairly in the media. He repeatedly cursed at the judge and accused the police for beating him up.
Well, first of all, I got questions to ask.
You're here for first appearances on a warrant, sir.
Y'all making up shit like I just went in there and shot this girl, endangering my family.
Okay, a judge is
What if other people want to do something back? Y'all portray this shit to the news people. Like I just went in there and shot this girl when there was other guns found on the scene. And all kinds of guns was pulled on me for it, but y'all acting like I just went in there and shot her. Her little brother got dropped off while me and her was standing there talking. So there's all kind of other shit that happened before y'all just put on the news. Oh, I just went there and shot this girl, got my family at danger. So no, I wasn't coming in right then. Then when they had me in the hospital, the Channel 9 News sent out their way for me to come out and see what they did for me. Or they done took my eye. They done broke my nose, broke my jaw. They did all this shit till I resisted, but I crawled out to the motherfucking road. So how did I resist? I ain't resist shit. They just did that shit. They tried to hide it from the news people, but I'm here right now.
Corrections, I think we've established everything we need to do in a first appearance hearing. He can be taken after he signs.
Lady, fuck you.
Have him sign the no contact.
Fuck you.
During the murder trial, Loyd claimed self-defense. He said all he wanted to do on December 13th, 2016 was to talk to his ex-girlfriend Sade Dixon. Loyd's defense team had him reenact his encounter with Dixon that night, and he claimed that she was also armed with a gun. He said her brother tried to take his gun away, and that's when he started firing.
He turned my mind into something else, and I was just reacting. I was just reacting. Even when they opened the door, I just reacted. I fired 2 shots, I just reacted. All my life, I looked out for people. All my life, I did for my people. This city loved me. All my life. All I ever did, all my life. And provide and protect.
Loyd received a life sentence for killing his ex-girlfriend. Jurors also found Markeith Loyd guilty in the death of Officer Deborah Clayton and unanimously recommended a death sentence. During the trial, prosecutors said the fatal shot was fired as Loyd stood over Officer Clayton in the parking lot. She was shot 4 times. During multiple hearings since the shooting, Loyd claimed he fired at Officer Clayton in self-defense. His attorney said he was insane at the time after becoming convinced the police were trying to kill him. Markeith Loyd was sentenced to death by Circuit Judge Letitia Marquez.